Hey everyone, today we're looking at the brand new flagship synthesizer by Cherry Audio, the GX-80. Now the GX-80 combines two legendary synths, the Yamaha GX-1 and the Yamaha CS-80. Now these two synths are absolutely legendary. The GX-1, I believe there's only about 10 of them in existence. They sold between 1973 and 1978, and they sold even back then for around $60,000. That equates to about $400,000 in today's market. And the people that own the GX-1 read like a who's who of music legends. You have Hans Zimmer, you have Keith Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, you have John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, you have the guy from ABBA, ABBA, Dancing Queen, and you have Stevie Wonder, who nicknamed the GX-1 the Dream Machine. The Yamaha CS-80 was released in 1977, and it was used by Vangelis to create the iconic soundtrack to Blade Runner. And yes, I did buy this shirt specifically for this video. And the CS-80 has found its way on popular recordings from Michael Jackson to Peter Gabriel to Daft Punk. And it's virtually impossible to get your hands on these two synthesizers. Until now. So this is the beautiful GUI to the GX-80. So I'm not going to go over all of these buttons and everything that they do. I really want to jump right into the sounds, but I will give you an overview of this front panel. On the top left here, you have your effects. You have chorus, rotary, flange, phase, and you have right here the delay and the reverb. You can turn those on and off down here with these buttons. And I want to note that the reverb includes their galactic reverb, which I think sounds fantastic. And right here with the Roman numerals 1 and 2, these are your rank voice parameters. Right below that is your performance controls, and below that you have your global controls. And then down here on the left-hand bottom, this is your left-hand controls. Now I'm a composer, so I'm going to show you a composition that I created using the GX-80, and this is a Blade Runner inspired composition, and I ended up using about 25 instances of the GX-80 in this composition. So I'll show you this, and then I'll break down some of the sounds that I used. So now I'll take you through some of the sounds that I used to create this composition, and then after we go through that, I'll give you my final thoughts on this synth. So the whole song opens with this sound, and it's called Angel's Delight. So early on in that first movement, I play this kind of arpeggiated line, and it's from a sound called Cradle Snatcher, and here's that sound by itself. And I layered that with two more sounds. One's called Romance Stack and Romance Split. And here's all three of those together. Now, one of the first sounds that I played when I first downloaded this synth was this string patch here. It's called Pure Strings, and it has that really amazing, like, Blade Runner type string sound. So here's that sound by itself. Love that sound. All the strings in this library are absolutely fantastic. This next sound I used as the melodic line in that first portion of that song, and it's called Charming Reeds. I really like this sound. Now that melody comes back in the end of the song, and I layered it in that part of the song with two more sounds. I mean, it's all about layering, right? And those two sounds are bass bomb drone and solo main. And here's what they all three sound like together. Here's a sound effect I used during some of the transitions from part to part, and it's inside the GX-80 called Astro Blaster. Little pan sweep there. In the second movement here, I used this really great sound called Callisto Pinky Toes. Check this sound out. Love the stereo image you get on that one. Sounds so great. Here's a sound called Dawn's Swirling Light that I used as a transitional sound between parts. Now in the middle section, I used two more sounds for the melodic part. One's called Bright Eyed and one's called Wembley 1982. And I really like these two sounds. They sound great together, but let me play them separately first and then I'll put them together. One's called Reversal Status, so here's that one. This next one's called Navette. And here's those two together. Here's a bell sound from the library called Delicate Bell, and I believe I soaked this in the Galactic Reverb, which I love very much. Now in that last chorus, I introduce a new bass part that's more of a buzzy bass part that sits on top of the sub bass that's in the earlier part. And this sound is called 1VCO GX Unibass. And And I added yet another layer to the melodic part in the last chorus. So this is 4 sounds together: bass, bomb, drone, charming reed, solo me, and cauldron. And here's in context with the song. So I want to give you my final thoughts on this synth, but before I do, if you could hit the like button, that helps me out so much. So my final thoughts are this: Cherry Audio has released a lot of great synths, but this one I have to say is probably my favorite, and it probably has to do with the fact that I'm a composer, and every sound I hear, or most of the sounds I hear in the GX-80 just sound so epic and cinematic, and they just make me want to write. So that's a big win for me. If I can play something and I'm instantly inspired to write a song, that's a huge win. So I love this synth. There's some other great features in this synth like aftertouch. I just don't have an aftertouch keyboard, so I couldn't demonstrate that today, but if you have an aftertouch keyboard, there's a whole lot more that you can do with the GX-80. So I hope this video helped you out today, and if you want to hear the full version of the song that I played in this video, you can check that out right here. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.